Okay. So no definite expressions at the moment. Okay. We will take this outside the meeting and find something. Yeah, but this is the strategy we'll use every year. If there's no votes come forward, then the executive will take it after this morning.
Because it's a short time.
Okay, let's carry on.
Okay, thank you. Right, European Championship system. The decision that was made last year was to accept the proposals that the EGF Association had put forward at the meeting, but it said in the proposal to leave the details to the Rules Commission. The Rules Commission then did this, which was then published at the end of last year. Unfortunately, there was then no mechanism for disagreeing with what the Rules Commission had actually done, and the executive were not forceful enough to try and change it, and things got left and forgotten about. And so the rules we're actually playing with for this tournament are the ones that the Rules Commission has. And there are at least 3 things that people don't like about what the Rules Commission decided. So it is possible that we might want to change those rules. There are also still all these other systems that people want to propose, and there's at least 2 proposals around for changing the system completely so that, in fact, the whole European Championship maybe is decided in 7 days or a week, a little bit longer than a week maybe. And these proposals need considering also. So what the executive has decided to do, rather than spend all your time now discussing this and having votes until after midnight when they turn the lights out, what we propose to do is setting up a postal vote on these issues, putting the EGA's amendments to the current system as an option, or keep the current system, or have a look at one of the new systems, and we'll put that to a postal vote so it's decided before the end of this year, it's ready for the 2012 tournament next year. Okay. There are 3 particular points. Alex, do you want to say
can I just say something briefly? I won't take too much time, but Jeff came up with a system which I think was basically approved last year. He's very keen on using the McMahon and SOS system, and he's come up with another final refinement, because basically the idea is you try and choose the top 8 players and then you have a playoff. He did a simulation for the championship in 2008, and only the 8th player the ranking was unsure because they had the same McMahon score, the same SOS score. So he's come up with another ranking as a way of splitting the last people, which is in his proposal. I won't go into it in detail, but effectively Jeff is saying it's better to use the ranking system rather than, as has been proposed, or it's actually in the rules, you have separate playoff systems, because it takes an extra day, and effectively all you're doing is you're worrying about the 8th place.
Sorry.
Who are the people who are probably least likely to win the championship, and therefore it seems a bit of a waste of time to spend a whole day, finding out who's in that situation. The other thing, which I think is a major thing, is that it says in the rules that the Open champion must be non-European. There are arguments for and against, but there doesn't seem to be a good reason to state in the rules that the Open champion must be non-European. And so the proposal is that the Open champion is the person who's got the best score at the Open championship. There's also a slight thing about there should be a 3rd place playoff. Well, that's a minor thing, but the British Go Association once more suggests that the ranking in the normal system, where people just, when they lose, they go back into the main tournament, is sufficient to find out who's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So the suggestion basically is you use a ranking system to choose the top 8 players, and that people then drop out. If they lose, they re-enter the main tournament, and the ranking at the end is the ranking produced by the rank list, with the extra criteria that Jeff has suggested to split people if McMahon score and SOS is insufficient.
May I comment?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, Jeff had been a member of the Rules Commission, but then he resigned from that and started doing things separately. So if he would have applied, we could have re-edited the commission, but now we do our work and then try to do an opposite work. Well, comment that, well, I guess he wanted whether he was claiming in the last year's meeting that other systems are too complicated. Now he is introducing a new tiebreaker, which we don't know. So the complication comes in the second proposal.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what the suggestion is that you come up with a new ranking system whereby you have a what do you call it? You have a ranking of the strongest player that you lose to and the weakest player that you beat, and then you have a sort of a ranking in the midst of those as a way of saying how strong you are. You can also take out the outliers if you want to have another ranking. It's just a way. And he's done some statistical analysis to show that this actually produces a reasonable way of ranking people. And I mean, the idea basically is that you avoid having a playoff. The suggestion within the rules is that you have an extra game on Wednesday in order to find out who the top 8 players are. And he's suggesting that it's only given effect on the simulation, it's only affecting the 8th place. In terms of relegation, trying to select the 8th place. And the question is whether you want to actually spend. Of course, you can have a European Championship with many rounds, and you can be absolutely sure. But it's really a question of what you want to do.
We'll get some real experience next week, Chandler.
Well, I would really like to say that I'm quite impressed with the quality of the papers here they're just presenting. All of the proposals about the system are really high quality, and it could be a scientific publication as well. And I truly believe that if you would put the same kind of effort in more interesting things, things that actually would affect the root of the problem with the Congress, or something like writing EU applications that would actually bring money to the European law, it would be a way more effective way to help European goals. I mean, I must say personally, right now, I'm totally satisfied with the tournament system right now in this Congress. I mean, we have a playoff, first 8 places are more or less decided without luck. I mean, let's say it's the best kind of system I could imagine. Okay, let's say, I mean, I really hate sauce. I mean, any kind of tiebreakers. I prefer direct confrontation, however it goes. But still, I believe that you can start endless conversations about this tournament system, but it will never change anything, and it will never get to the root of the problem why we have no toilet in the Congress, for example. I mean, sorry to stick with this example, but it's really hard. When you're just entering Wyoming and queue up in front of the toilet, it's really not very fantastic experience. Well, that's actually what I would like to say, or I wanted to say, that however much you can work on this, you will not find the best system for sure.
I just wanted to say that I came up with my own proposal to which was sent to the strong players and not to the members, because I think that strong players should say what system they like and they don't. And we discussed in the EGF whether to put it on the agenda or not, and what decided was too late, the same with the British proposal. So for this reason, we suggest that really by the end of September we finish any discussion, and by then send it to the strong players for the opinion. If they prefer any system with majority, maybe as like Csaba says, stick to this system we have currently now or modify it. And by the end of the year, let the members decide voting on internet. We don't have to really spend time here discussing all the details, because I don't think many people are interested in the discussion here.
Yeah, please go away and talk to your strong players, find out what they
That what we suggest as the executive, so if the EGF agrees with this, or anyone has a strong objection, you can suggest let's finish any discussion now and do not do anything by the end of the year. That's another option. But we suggest that we prepare if any changes by the end of September and then make a vote by the end of the year.
I have no problem with any of the systems, but this for me is now a unique thing that we shift the voting to some internet whatever voting. This is something I completely object. If we start this, we will end up that we will sit here and then we will say all the voting will be done by internet because we have to check it and whatever. Therefore I say whatever it is, it will be decided here or it will not be decided. Not by internet sometimes and somewhere and whatsoever. If you cannot prepare the information necessary for us, then you could also say, okay, we decide on where the next Congress will be by the internet, because we can see all the nice presentations and we don't need to do it here. I want to have the things, that is why we have a General Assembly and all the necessary decisions are made here and not outside somewhere.
To take a different view but leading to the same result, possibly is whether I have to work through all the rules, technical details here, which I did by the way, or later at home for the representatives of the countries. It's some work that I don't think the representatives are best people for. I mean, some of us are maybe interested in rules, others are not. And I'll have the feeling this is something we have a rules commission for. So the AGM last year gave to the board the idea, okay, please cut off the best 8 Europeans after 7 rounds and make them play a knockout and work out the details. Now we have the details, and I do not want to vote on any details. I would like, if Jeff's got a point there, I would like Jeff to talk to the EGF, to the board or anything, and let them sort out the details. This is my opinion. I don't want to vote on technical details like this, neither here nor possible.
I object to voting afterwards. I strongly object. And if this is, because this is a new thing, this was never done before. If you want to introduce this, I want a vote on that. Not just that you say we start voting by internet later on anything. I don't care what it is. I just want to know whether this is agreed by the Assembly. If they say yes, fine with me. But this was never done before, so I want something, a decision on that in principle. Then you can vote on everything.
It was done before. I don't remember hearing that issue, but 2 years ago there was vote on it.
Not as long as I was present.
I'd just like to say that I would like to thank the DJ and Jeff for doing this good preparation of their proposal. I think we agree with most of them. We think they are rather sensible, the amendments. But it's very nice that they have prepared this suggestion actually half a year ago or something, so it's been distributed to the members and we have time to look at it except for this last Exxon study. So I think this is the way to go about things, that the proposal should be prepared in early and distributed so that one can have discussion before the AGM. That's my comment, and I think I don't necessarily object to voting later, but I think it's much preferable if people who want to propose something, they prepare it properly and the discussion can be had before the AGM.
Okay, with the executive, we decided that we will go back and reconsider how to take this forward. So it may not be a close vote, we may bring it further discussion next year, we may get rules and commission to decide. We won't decide now.
So if you need a decision, make it next year. No problem about this.
In the same system now.
The same system, including the extra round on Wednesday?
This year there is no proposal to change this.
Well, we protested against the extra round.
Some people like it. Okay. The good news about item 16 on the agenda is that we've since decided that we don't need to change the system at the moment. We might bring a proposal to change the system next year once we see how the ranking in the European Go Congress works out. So there's no change to that motion is withdrawn. Two proposals from members under item 17. One is one of the Russian proposals, we're both from Russia. The first one is that in order to organise the Go Congress, you should organise 3 of the other championships within the 5 years beforehand, which is Russia's number
17, 8.
Yeah, that's their second one. Do you want to say anything about this, Maxim?
So, we have 2 proposals. The first one is about technical voting process. We propose that voting should be public, and the secretary of chairman personally asked all the representatives about their opinion and fix it in the court. Remembering last year misunderstanding, I suppose that this way help us not have accidents in the future. So I see that this way will be realized this year meeting. And so I think that it is a very simple question. The second proposal.
Can we do one proposal at a time? Vote on the first one?
In reality, our proposal was realized here. So it is not a question.
So you withdraw it.
Yes,
You withdraw that. So A is withdrawn.
What fees withdrawn?
So the voting method is withdrawn because we're operating this method. Their actual proposal was that everybody had to sign for what they proposed.
Our proposal was to make voting method like it was made just now.
So we will adopt this as a standard.
This works very fine for me, and I completely agree to this method if we have 2 candidates. But if we have more than 2 candidates, like in some years before, for example, we had once 4 candidates, I would not like to do a voting in one round. We had at that time, I think he was the president at that point in the Congress, that there was a round dropping out everyone, because this helps, because if your favorite is a loser, then maybe you would favor another second one, and if you have only one vote for all 4 candidates, this will be a very close run. Therefore, in the end, for the final round, of course, an open vote, yes or no for one candidate. But before
the initial vote in a multiplication session, yes, it's not needed.
yes.
Okay, Henry.
What was this misunderstanding you were talking about is one question I have. I'm not sure, I mean, I can agree with Evan's comment there, but I'm not sure I see the advantages with this system. It's slow, for example, and maybe people change their mind depending on what the previous countries voted for or something like that. So what was this misunderstanding and what's the advantage with this system?
If you remember, during voting about Congress 214th between Russia and Romania, the number of voters was counted wrongly.
Allegedly. You thought it was, but you didn't tell us you thought it was wrong until after the meeting.
Anyway, we have some questions to voting first. And I suppose that it will be right to not have such kind of questions in the future.
Yes. If you think something goes wrong with a vote, you should complain immediately and not wait until afterwards. It's like if you play your move wrong and go, call the referee immediately, not go to the public service.
Questions?
But fine, we move on to your other point, please.
Okay. The second one, the proposal. We see this proposal was right in this. Now we see that it is too strong. So we think that organization of European Law Congress
maybe I will tell you. Our proposal is that the country who wants to organize European Law Congress before must take care for 2 or 3 events like youth championship, ladies championship, or team championship, and so on. And we must look about how strong the organization is in this country. That's our proposal.
In fact, it's current practice.
And
we do not give
and
countries if we don't get data to consider.
condition. Firstly, we asked for 3 European tournaments during 5 years. It is too strong. I suppose that this idea is common for you because this is very simple. Yes, but maybe we can choose the we can choose the more correct numbers of tournaments in the time gap. So maybe 1 or 2 tournaments during 5 years before moving goes. Sure. Yeah, yes. Well,
Right.
Okay, so while the idea in itself to train your team before organizing such event is very good, I have an observation to make. So for example, in a period of 5 years, we are talking about 5 different tournaments, so it's total 25 tournaments. If we take 3 by country, this makes eligible only 8 countries in Europe.
Change to 1 or 2.
That's not so much. We change it because now this proposal was formed when it was more events, because now team championship are go to internet, student championship also go to internet. That's why chances for training team is not so big as was before. That's why we want to change a little bit our proposal and put it like the country must have 2 events before, but 1 not far than the last 3 years.
Okay, I remake, okay, for 3 years, not 5 years. if you make the calculation again, I feel it's not good to restrict the number of countries that could organize the Congress. Why we should decide that half of the European countries for a certain period of time have no right, even if they want, there's no possibility through this kind of system to organize the Congress. I think it's too restricted.
I completely back up Katalin. I would even make it stronger. We are all grown-up people. We know exactly what this country who is proposing an European Go Congress was doing in the last years. If you don't feel them capable, I will not vote for them. And I will even not vote for some countries that did many tournaments in the past, because I still think for a European Go Congress, maybe in my opinion, they are not ready. So therefore, why should we make a rule for it? There's no necessity at all. Not only because it excludes something. If we think they are not capable, with or without rule, we will not vote for them. Why should we make this restriction? There's no need for me, so I strongly object to it.
Maybe this is a way of motivation for organizing all kinds of European tournaments.
Yeah, and this discouragement for smaller countries who want to just make one tournament or whatever.
And for this, they hired someone with energy is really good.
The point is, if you usually do the application for Congress 4 years in advance. So when I now apply for Congress in 2015 or next year 2016, I then have still the possibility to say, oh, maybe you should practice and then apply for a small event like a students or youth championship. Just to practice my team, because then I know I need a team. Just for the application, I think it's a big burden and hassle for the application as such. And as Edwin said, we know the people, we know who we think is capable of running the event, and I encourage the board, if there's a congress given to some country which hasn't run a congress for many years, to encourage them to run an event. Yeah. And if they don't, then we'll get in trouble, but I don't think that will happen, so I think that's less unnecessary.
Just one short notice in the question to the, the short notice is that, well, actually I think the best Go Congress in the recent years for me was the Austrian Go Congress in Villach, and Austria has not been organizing major tournament before. So from this point, the motion is kind of meaningless for me. But my question, to make it kind of clear, so you mean this finally prior to application or prior to organizing the Congress? Before application.
Before application.
So before application, it means like right now you apply like 4 years in advance. So it means like the last 7-8 years you have organized this kind of 7 years before a Congress you organize something.
What?
I mean,
You organize before 4 years.
What I mean that you organize an event and 7 years after you get a Congress. This kind of
4 years. Because the 4 years.
My point is different. I mean, my point is that if you require the event to be organized, like the 3 years before application, and not 3 years prior to the, before the actual event, it means like 7 years. I think very few organized 7 years. But I didn't get the answer to it. I mean, it's prior to the
prior to application.
Application.
So it's been 3 years before bringing in application for 4 years thereafter.
Thank you.
I apologize for asking again, but I know I speak already, but I would like to add a little bit. Thank you. I think the direction should be not to restrict some countries to get involved in this kind of process, but what I would rather suggest personally is to create, for example, a team of mercenaries, of European mercenaries, people who had the experience of participating in Congress, and encourage the team of the who organizes the Congress, to invite, let's say, I don't know, 5 to 10 people who have huge experience with organizing congresses, invite them 1 week before the Congress and get feedback from them and, okay, pay them from the budget, but this would be great help or something like that. So we can create a European team.
The British went to Dublin and ran their tournament for them.
Yeah.
And if Cyprus wanted a tournament, then we would fly in lots of organisers to help them.
Yeah, we can create a team of European professional organizers
I
of the
think
Congress.
everybody who's chosen have their views on
For
this.
sure this would work so much better than...
The motion is modified for 2 tournaments and 5 people, yeah? 2 tournaments, not 3 tournaments. So the modified motion is they must have run 2 tournaments within 5 years. All those in favour of the motion raise their hands, please. All those against the motion. Okay, last item on the agenda is the any contestants looking to say? Not? Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for being very patient. Big thanks to the French for hosting us here tonight, and I declare the meeting closed
Waar doet u dat op zijn? Ja, nu niet. Maar dat zal de opnames zijn en er weggeschreven wordt als volledige opname en daar nog foto's van nemen. Moof.